Have you ever been in a room full of people and felt completely alone? Or maybe you're physically by yourself, and a deep, aching sense of loneliness starts to creep in, making you feel isolated and disconnected. We often use the words alone and lonely interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. Loneliness is a painful feeling of lack, but being alone, that's just a physical state. And what if I told you that being alone doesn't have to feel lonely, that it can actually be a source of incredible peace, strength, and even joy? In this video, we're going to explore the crucial difference between being alone and feeling lonely, and I'll give you 5 practical strategies to not just cope with solitude, but to truly thrive in it. This is the most important foundation we need to lay, because if you get this wrong, nothing else will stick. We have to fundamentally reframe what it means to be by ourselves. The entire experience hinges on understanding the critical difference between 2 concepts, loneliness and solitude. Let's talk about loneliness first. Loneliness is not a fact. It is a feeling. It's a state of mind characterized by a perceived lack of meaningful connection. Did you catch that? It's perceived. This is why you can be surrounded by friends, family, or even in a crowded room, and feel profoundly lonely. The connection you are craving isn't happening, and that gap between the connection you desire and the connection you perceive you have is where loneliness thrives. It's that inner voice whispering that you are separate, that you are missing out, that no one truly gets you. It is essentially a feeling of disconnection from the world and, more importantly, from yourself. Now, let's contrast that with its powerful counterpart, solitude. If loneliness is a state of mind, solitude is a conscious choice. It is the state of being alone without feeling lonely. Loneliness happens to you. Solitude is something you do. It is a chosen time for rest, for reflection, and for recharging your spirit. Where loneliness feels like a void, solitude feels like a space you have intentionally cleared for yourself. It is not about the absence of other people. It's about the presence of yourself. It's an opportunity to step off the treadmill of social expectations and simply be without an audience. Think of it this way. Loneliness is like being thirsty with an empty cup. You feel a desperate need, a lack, and you're looking around for someone or something to fill it. Solitude, on the other hand, is having a full cup and taking the time to savor every single sip. You are the source of your own fulfillment. You are not empty. You are complete, and you are enjoying the richness of your own company. So, the goal of this journey is not to never feel lonely again. That would be an impossible task, as loneliness is a universal human emotion that everyone experiences from time to time. The real goal is to build a relationship with yourself that is so strong, so nurturing, and so genuine that your default state, when you are by yourself, shifts from one of lack to one of abundance. The goal is to cultivate your inner world so effectively that solitude becomes your sanctuary, a place you look forward to retreating to, rather than a sentence you feel you have to endure. Pillar 1. Cultivate a relationship with yourself. The foundation of thriving in solitude is built upon a single, non-negotiable relationship, the one you have with yourself. Think about it. You are the one person you are guaranteed to spend every single moment of your life with. Doesn't it make sense to invest in making that relationship a positive, supportive, and enjoyable one? So many of us are excellent friends to others, but are neglectful or even hostile to ourselves. The first step is to turn inwards and become someone you genuinely like spending time with. So, how do we build this friendship? It starts with curiosity and kindness. Begin by getting to know yourself on a deeper level. This isn't about a quick fix. It's an ongoing conversation. One of the most powerful tools for this is journaling. Don't just write about your day. Use prompts that excavate your inner world. Ask yourself, what are my core values? What principles are non-negotiable for me? What activities bring me genuine, unforced joy, completely separate from anyone else's opinion? What am I truly grateful for today? These questions move you beyond the surface and help you understand the unique person you are. Next, start courting yourself. Plan self-dates. This might feel awkward at first, but it's a profound practice. Take yourself out to a movie you've been wanting to see, have a picnic in the park with a great book, or spend an afternoon at a museum, wandering at your own pace. Treat yourself with the same consideration and excitement you would a new partner or a dear friend. Finally, and most crucially, monitor your inner dialogue. Become aware of that critical voice in your head that points out every flaw and amplifies every mistake. When you hear it, consciously choose to respond with self-compassion. Talk to yourself as you would to a loved one who is struggling. This shift from critic to ally is the bedrock of a solid relationship with yourself. Pillar 2. Design your environment for fulfillment. Your external environment is not just a backdrop. It's an active participant in your mental and emotional state. A cluttered, chaotic, or uninspiring space can amplify feelings of loneliness and restlessness, while a curated, intentional environment can become a source of energy, comfort, and inspiration. Your goal is to transform your space from a mere container for your life into a sanctuary that actively supports your well-being and passions. Begin by creating what is known as a third place within your own home. Sociologists talk about third places being the social surroundings separate from the two usual social environments of home and the workplace. Think cafes, libraries, or community centers. You can create your own. Designate a specific corner, nook, or even just a comfortable chair as your personal haven. This could be a reading corner with a perfect lamp and a soft blanket, a small table for your plants and journal, or an art station with your supplies always at the ready. This designated space signals to your brain that this is a place for peace and engagement. Next, consciously curate your sensory experience. Your environment is more than what you see. Play music that lifts your mood or brings you peace. Create different playlists for relaxing, for creating, for energizing. Use scent to your advantage. Light a scented candle, use an essential oil diffuser, or simply bake something. A clean, uncluttered space is also vital, as physical clutter often translates into mental clutter. Finally, fill your space with the energy of creation. Use your solitary time for a passion project. This is where loneliness is actively transformed into productivity and joy. Learn to play a few chords on a ukulele, start a small container garden, try your hand at painting, or begin writing that story. The act of creating something, anything, is a powerful affirmation of your own agency and presence. It is you interacting with the world, leaving your mark, and in doing so, you fill your environment with a sense of purpose that crowds out any lingering emptiness. Pillar 3. Be the curator of your inputs. In an age of constant connectivity, our minds are often treated like public spaces where any and all information can wander in uninvited. We must shift from being passive consumers to intentional curators. The principle is simple but profound. What you consume consumes you. The content you ingest, the social media feeds you scroll, the news you read, the videos you watch, directly shapes your inner world, your self-perception, and by extension, your susceptibility to feeling lonely. When your mental diet is filled with comparisons, negativity, and mindless distraction, it's no wonder that solitude feels empty. Your mind has been filled with things that deplete it. The first and most impactful step is a digital detox and social media audit. This isn't about abandoning technology, but about wielding it with purpose. Go through the accounts you follow and be ruthlessly honest. Unfollow any account that, after you see its post, leaves you feeling inadequate, anxious, or less than. Your feed should be a source of inspiration, connection, and knowledge, not a trigger for self-doubt. Next, schedule time away from doom scrolling. Set app timers on your phone, or designate certain hours, or even a full day each week, as a screen-free period. Replace that time by consciously consuming uplifting content. Choose a book that inspires you, listen to a podcast that expands your understanding of the world, or watch a documentary that fills you with wonder. Finally, take this a step further by actively engaging your brain. Use platforms like Skillshare, Coursera, or even YouTube not for passive entertainment, but for active learning. Decide to learn the basics of a new language, understand a piece of software, or dive deep into a historical event. This process of active learning gives your brain a sense of purpose and progress, transforming solitary time into a journey of intellectual discovery and filling the mental space that loneliness might otherwise occupy. Pillar 4. Embrace mindful presence. Loneliness is rarely about the present moment. If you closely observe the feeling, you'll find it is almost always tied to thoughts of the past or the future. We feel lonely when we reminisce about connections we've lost or memories of times when we felt more surrounded. We feel lonely when we project into the future, anxious that we will always feel this isolated. The antidote to this time-traveling anguish is to firmly root yourself in the only place where life is actually happening, the present moment. Peace is not found in the past or future. It is found right here, right now, in the simple act of experiencing your life as it unfolds. Cultivating this mindful presence is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. The most direct way to train this muscle is through mindfulness or meditation. This doesn't need to be complicated. Commit to just 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and when your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, gently guide it back. This practice isn't about emptying your mind, but about becoming the calm observer of your thoughts, which creates a crucial space between you and your feelings of loneliness. You can then bring this quality of attention into your everyday life through a practice called savoring. The next time you drink a cup of coffee, don't drink it while looking at your phone. Just drink the coffee, feel the warmth of the mug in your hands, inhale the rich aroma, and truly taste the flavor. Be fully in that simple activity. This is mindfulness in action. Another powerful way to practice presence is to spend time in nature. Go for a walk and leave your phone in your pocket or at home. Don't listen to a podcast. Listen to the birds and the wind in the trees. Observe the intricate patterns on a leaf. Feel the air on your skin, and notice the play of light and shadow. Nature operates on a timescale that is instantly grounding, and it offers a companionship that is quiet, non-judgmental, and profoundly connecting, reminding you that you are a part of a vast, living world. Pillar 5. Foster intentional connection. Learning to thrive in solitude is not about building a wall around yourself. It is about building a solid foundation within yourself so that the connections you choose to make with others are rooted in genuine desire, not desperate need. This final pillar is perhaps the most beautiful outcome of this entire journey. When you are complete on your own, your relationships cease to be about filling a void and start to be about sharing your abundance. The goal is to move from a scattered search for any connection to the intentional cultivation of meaningful connection. This begins with a firm commitment to quality over quantity. In the age of digital communication, we often mistake a high volume of interaction for true connection. Dozens of superficial texts or endless scrolling through social media comments can often leave you feeling more disconnected than before. Instead, be intentional. Schedule a dedicated hour for a phone call or a video chat with a friend where the explicit goal is to have a deep, uninterrupted conversation. Ask real questions like, "What's been a challenge for you lately?" or "What's something you're really excited about?" and listen with your full attention. This single, focused conversation will do more to nourish your soul than 1,000 likes ever could. To expand your circle with purpose, actively seek out your tribe. Shared interests are the most fertile ground for genuine connection. Join a local book club, a weekend hiking group, a pottery class, or an online community dedicated to a passion of yours. Whether it's a specific video game, a philosophical debate, or a love for vintage films. When you connect over a shared passion, the conversation has a natural starting point, and the connection is built on a common identity. Finally, and most importantly, we must practice vulnerability. This is the courage that bridges the gap between being around people and truly connecting with them. It means showing up as your authentic self, not just the polished, fine version we often present to the world. It means being willing to share your thoughts, your enthusiasms, and even your struggles when the context is safe and appropriate. Vulnerability is a risk. It opens you up to the possibility of being hurt, but it is also the only gateway to being truly seen, understood, and accepted for who you are. When you share something real, you give others the silent permission to do the same, transforming a simple interaction into a moment of genuine human connection that reinforces the fact that, even in our solitude, we are never truly alone in the human experience. Now, understanding these concepts is one thing, but the real transformation happens when you put them into practice. Knowledge without action is just trivia. That's why I want to leave you with a simple, manageable framework to start building this new muscle for yourself. I'm calling it the 7-Day Solitude Challenge. This isn't about a drastic life overhaul. It's about proving to yourself, through small, consistent actions, that you have the power to change your relationship with being alone. Each day, I challenge you to try just one of these small things. They are designed to directly apply the pillars we've just discussed. We'll start gently. On day 1, your challenge is to go on a 15-minute walk and leave your phone behind. This combines mindful presence with a digital detox, forcing you to be with your own thoughts and observe the world around you without distraction. On day 2, we build self-relationship. Write down 3 specific things you genuinely like about yourself. This isn't about arrogance. It's about building a foundation of self-respect. Day 3 is about savoring. Have just one meal without any screens. No TV, no phone, no laptop. Just you and your food, truly tasting it and being present. For day 4, we become curators of our input by listening to a podcast or reading an article on a topic you know absolutely nothing about. Stretch the boundaries of your mind. As we move into the second half of the week, we start focusing outward from a place of strength. On day 5, practice intentional connection by sending one friend a completely genuine, specific compliment. Not just a, hey, but a, I was just thinking about how you always ask such thoughtful questions, and I really appreciate that about you. This small act of vulnerability strengthens bonds. On day 6, reinvest in yourself by spending 30 minutes on a hobby you've neglected. Pull out that sketchbook, that instrument, those cooking tools, and remember the joy of creating for its own sake. Finally, on day 7, we bring it all together. Your challenge is to simply sit in silence for 5 minutes and just breathe. No goal, no meditation app, just you, existing fully in the present moment, comfortable in your own skin. This week is your laboratory. It's a chance to experiment and see what happens when you consciously choose solitude over accidental loneliness. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to try. Each small victory will build your confidence and show you that the capacity for a rich, fulfilling inner life has been within you all along, waiting for your attention. And so, as we come to a close, I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. Remember the distinction that changes everything. Being alone is simply a fact, a neutral state of being. Loneliness, however, is a feeling, and the most empowering realization you can have is that you hold the power to influence that feeling. You are not a passive recipient of your circumstances. You are the active architect of your inner world. Learning to genuinely enjoy your own company is not a consolation prize. It is one of the greatest and most enduring gifts you can ever give yourself. This journey isn't about building a wall, but about building a foundation, an unshakable foundation of self-worth and inner peace that no external circumstance, no change in relationship status, and no quiet evening can take away from you. When you befriend yourself, you carry a source of comfort and strength with you everywhere you go. This relationship with yourself ultimately sets the tone for every other relationship in your life, allowing you to connect with others not from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness and desire. If this conversation resonated with you, and you found a spark of hope or a practical tip that you can use, please pay it forward by liking this video. It helps others who might need this message find their way here. If you're interested in continuing this journey of personal growth and building a more resilient, peaceful mind, consider subscribing to the channel for more content. And most importantly, I would love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, what is one small way you enjoy spending time with yourself? Or what is one thing from the challenge you're excited to try? Let's build a community of inspiration and share the many beautiful ways we can all learn to thrive in our own company.